From the Elizabethtown Sports Complex, here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Today, the Commonwealth plays host to a championship, the national championship to be precise, for the 11-year-olds. It's the 2022 Travel Ball Select National Championships. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us right back here on Facebook, the Travel Ball Select page. Back once again with the play-by-play story. I'm Chris Mooneyham. We'll be joined by the Executive Director of Travel Ball Select, Rick Goff, momentarily. He's off in between ball games, getting things set up as always, as you would imagine. Rick will be with us momentarily. So here we go. A national championship to be decided, perhaps here in the 11U classification. I'll explain what I mean coming up here in just a moment. East Cobb's Astros from the state of Georgia. East Cobb Astros Orange out in the field as the home team in this championship game number 1. Taking on WILDCATTERS-RUSK from the state of Texas. So it's Texas versus Georgia for the national crown. No big surprise there if you know youth sports. If you know travel ball as well, there is no big surprise that we're going to get Georgia versus Texas for a title here in 2022. WILDCATTERS-RUSK with Jose Vera leading things off. Jacob Cordova, the second place man. Colton Williams rounds out our guaranteed 3. Kick and fire. Right-handed offering, fouled back and out of play. It'll be the offerings. Two count. Popped him up. Back behind second, giving chase. Better hurry, he's got it. Going to play havoc with the baseball all throughout the afternoon as we are, well, now into the afternoon. We've been here all day so far. 2 ball games already in the books here on Field 5. The third of 5 that we will have on this field. Swing and a miss. Jacob Cordova. Ground ball at second. Diving attempt. Gets into right. Boy, they nearly had a shot to throw him out, did the right fielder. Now it gets away behind the backstop. They'll pick it up, stick it in their pocket. And that'll be the end of that play, but not before Cordova is able to reach the second base bag. And call that reach on a knee 4 for Cordova. Here's Colton Williams. This little 11-year-old has some power. In fact, I shouldn't call him a little 11-year-old. He's a big 11-year-old, and this dude has some pop. WILDCATTERS-RUSK from Texas with a first inning RBI opportunity. Strike. Wildcatters. Line, fair ball down the left field line. The boys from Texas will score first in this national championship. RBI double, Colton Williams. Cordova with the run scored. (60-36). Texas was outscoring their opponents into this ball game here this afternoon as Carson Key steps up. WILDCATTERS-RUSK 7-1 overall throughout the week. They were a perfect 4-0 inside of pool play, 4-0. And in that 4-0 undefeated mark in pool play, they outscored their opponents 37-16 with numerous blowouts. Again, 37-16. Pool play just 17-11 entering today's play. They posted a 3-1 mark in pool play. In bracketed play. A 3-1 mark in bracketed play. 23-20. They've outscored their opponents. 23-20 entering today. So 24-20 after this opening salvo. So again, 7-1 mark overall entering this ball game. 60-36. The boys in black and blue and white from the Lone Star State of Texas. Kick and fire. Ground ball past the diving third baseman and down into the corner. Make it a 2-0 ball game. Back-to-back RBI doubles. Williams scores. Keys at the second base bag. I did not get a pronunciation on the East Cobb hurler. His last name, I believe it's Easton Early. I'm going to make sure and double check that. If his family's watching, once we hit this first commercial break, this first break in action, I'll make sure to get the pronunciation on his last name. What matters right now to him more than anything else is that he's facing Maddox Bryant. And he's charged with the task of trying to hold down the fort here in the first. Both of these teams have been so very good throughout this week. We'll focus on the numbers overall for Texas here in this first inning. A little bit later, we'll dive into East Cobb's numbers. As I mentioned, WILDCATTERS-RUSK from the state of Texas, undefeated in pool play at 4-0. They entered bracketed play as the number 3 seed. Defeated Vipers of Hammonds by a 7-2 final in the opening round. Ground ball at first, 1 hop, 3 unassisted. Bryant retired. Key going to move down to the third base bag. He's 90 feet away with 2 men out, or he's 70 feet away as the base paths are 70 feet apart here in 11U. And Nicholas Mendoza comes to the plate. In the semifinals, it was a 2-3 matchup between Texas and Clutch Baseball. WILDCATTERS-RUSK and Clutch Baseball. That was an 8-3 Wildcatters win. That put them in the semifinals where they faced this very same Astros club. Fell to East Cobb by a 10-2 score. That dropped them into the elimination bracket where they had to win a ball game this morning over on Field 6. 6-5 was the final over Indiana's Ironmen Prime. That's how they got here. Big hop at short, up, over, and out. But not before 2 hits in the inning. Prior to that, an E4. Back-to-back doubles plate the first 2 runs of the ball game. It's 2-0. WILDCATTERS-RUSK out in front. Bottom half of the first inning. Good job by Easton Earl to hold WILDCATTERS-RUSK from the state of Texas at bay. Does give up 2 runs, but did a really good job of settling back in and getting 2 consecutive outs, getting out of that frame. Now his club will come to the plate in the bottom half of the first in a 2-0 deficit, where we'll see Ashton Brown, Kenan Derry, and Henry Bauer. Those are guaranteed 3 for East Cobb Astros Orange. Those of you watching perhaps for the first time some travel ball, maybe you got a grandson or a nephew in this ball game. Don't keep up with travel ball. The East Cobb Astros, one of the great programs historically in travel baseball across America, one of the biggest of the brand names, the most well-known, and they have had quite the week here this week. As promised, I'm now joined by the Executive Director of Travel Ball Select. Rick Goff is on hand. Rick, welcome back.
Oh, man, great to be here. Looking forward to this 11-year-old championship game we got here. We've had 2 exciting games today, none more exciting than the second one we did.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this one is going to foot the bill just as well.
Ashton Brown takes an off-speed pitch from Nicholas Mendoza. That drops right across the letters and across the plate. Mendoza, a right-hander, comes set, brings home a 2-strike delivery, which is sky down the right field line and curving, out of play. Brown, Derry, and Bauer, as I mentioned. The East Cobb Astros still perfect on the week at 7-0, where they've outscored their opponents 73-13. In totality, 73-13. Good gracious. Bounced up there. Perfect in pull play, obviously, at 4-0. They outscored their opponents 43-8. 43-8. And then 30-5 was the differential, or is the differential so far in championship bracketed play. It's 73-13. Dominance.
They have the upper hand for sure. They're the undefeated team in this game, so they're going to have to be beat twice.
Yep.
In order for the Wildcatters to bring home the championship. East Cobb's just got to win one of the next 2 games.
We've been working together too long. You read my mind again. I was just about to go there.
What has it been? 11. It's been 11 years.
I guess so. Something years. Like that, yeah.
You've been there for every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Believe so. Called strike 3. Fastball inside corner. It's going to pay off the tease that I gave you at the top of the broadcast. As I mentioned, this is perhaps the national championship game. But again, as Rick articulated, if East Cobb wins, they're the national champion, as they're still undefeated. And that would be the second loss for Texas. If WILDCATTERS-RUSK comes away with this victory here in this ball game, then we will move to a winner-take-all, because both teams would be sitting on 1 loss. Double elimination championship format. That, the best way to truly, with the talent level that all these teams have, that is surely the best way to discover who the best team is. Kenan Derry ducks out of the way of 1.
Yeah, we've used that format for all 11 years of the TBS Nationals, and it doesn't have you have that one bad game that ruins your whole entire week. And we like, all the coaches like the double elimination format, and that's a big reason why the teams come here to play in this event, because of the format. So we're proud of it. We're happy to have it and offer it to these kids.
Derry hit by a pitch. So the Astros from East Cobb have their first base runner via an HBP. I think it was 2013 was my first year.
So you weren't with us in the initial?
I don't think so. I think it was 13.
Well, it's been a few years.
I'll have to go back and check my my notes.
Been a few years and a few gray hairs. I see it.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
And eventually it'll start looking like this.
Yes. You've gone full silver, and I'm about halfway there.
Yeah.
That one fouled right side and out of play by Henry Bauer. Oh, we're to the point now, by the way. Well, we're past the point, but we're to a point now where we're firmly seeing kids that came through the program that are establishing themselves as big leaguers now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've firmly established themselves as big leaguers, guys that we've had the great joy of seeing. In fact, here's a name for you as the check goes to first once again. The man who was imagined to be the #1 pitching draft pick in the Major League Baseball draft coming up, I guess a couple of weeks, Dylan Lesko.
Oh, yeah.
We saw him
Yeah.
I guess the math would tell us 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6, 7 years ago, probably all those years, in the Travel Ball National Championships.
Yeah, Dylan's played in this event.
A few times.
A few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had Jake Fromm, the quarterback in the NFL. He's played in this event a few times.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see that circle finally come around and starting seeing these kids that are up there and playing. And a lot of them, are now seniors in high school, prospective players of the year in their states. And
swing and a miss. That's a big out to eliminate the power of Bauer, if you'll forgive the alliteration.
So we're in the process now of kind of compiling the list.
I can help.
Of kids that have played here and done that. So the records the first few years are not as kept up as they are now, but they're there. They're definitely there, and we've talked about that as a company and as a whole to kind of compile that list and put it out there.
You could have an entire alumni page on the website.
At this point, yeah.
It would be lengthy,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of my old scorecards. I've got
you keep all those
boxes. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
My score books. Yeah. That's why I was able to figure out a couple of years ago. I started a project where I counted up all of my play-by-play, color analysis, and sideline gigs. Not shows that I've hosted on the radio or television or whatever, or the internet, but actual play-by-play, color analysis, and sideline work, in-game work, I like to call it. And counting travel ball and professional and collegiate and high school, I just passed 900 in my career.
900?
900 calls.
And how old were you when you started doing that?
High school.
Your first gig? What was your first gig?
My first gig was a high school football game, Throw down, in safely. East Cobb will run a bit. It's part of the reason they're such a great team. Really good averages, really good power and speed. They come at you myriad ways. Stolen base for Kenan Derry. Right center field and torched. Headed towards the gap. Center fielder coming over. He's got the catch, and he's got the inning in his hands. A big play there to keep the finest from the state of Georgia, East Cobb's Astros, off the board. Another look before we hit the break.
Great angle, great jump. Read the ball off the bat. That's what you want your center fielder to do right there.
And he keeps it 2-0. Second inning, 2-0. Texas to the plate and with the lead. WILDCATTERS-RUSK, again, a 6-5 victory this morning over on Field 6 as they eliminated Ironman Prime from the state of Indiana, get themselves into this national championship game. Hopefully for them, one of two. Vin Stevens, Vincent Sanchez-Bernal, and Brody Hurd, the guaranteed 3 for the boys in black and blue here in the second. They sent 6 to the plate in the top of the first. Got a couple of hits, benefit of an E4. Scored 2 runs. Warming up a little bit here, beg your pardon, in northern Kentucky, but still going to be an amazing weather day. What are we expecting? Not but about 83, 84 degrees today?
I don't even know if it's going to get that high, but it clearly is not going to get as high as it was for the first 4 days of this event, as we were in the upper 90s, pushing 100. We had a heat index of 105 a couple of the days. So, you know, anything that happens today is going to pale in comparisons.
Expecting 81 with a light breeze. Shouldn't feel like any more than about just that. Humidity, that's the other big thing. It's going to be pretty light today.
Yeah.
Sanchez-Bernal on the flyout.
You can feel it in the air that the humidity is not a factor either.
It's wild.
You know, Chris, I'm not sure if the folks at home can see the difference. Maybe you've watched the first game as opposed to the second game. But just between 1 year 11 and 12-year-olds, you can see a big difference, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely right. Far more polished. The power numbers obviously spike up a good bit.
Well, puberty takes over.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just tell the difference.
Pitching depth,
yes.
By the way, on each roster. Here's Brody Hurd. Ground ball at short. Up, over, out. Now, how about a 1-2-3 inning? That's just what the doctor ordered for Easton Earl. A 1-2-3 inning. The 6-3 ground out will keep us at 2-0. This is the 2022 Travel Ball Select 11U National Championships. Into the bottom half of the second inning. We're cutting up in between innings as usual. We appreciate you joining us back here on Facebook, the Travel Ball Select page, the home of the national championships in 2022. East Cobb, the Astros Orange from the state of Georgia coming to the plate, down 2-0. Number 1 ranked team, at least into bracketed play, with Colton Kiz, Carson Bowen, and Alan Eacham, the home half of the second inning. Back alongside Rick Goff, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Rick, you got a special guest here with us.
I do. Joining us here in the booth for this half inning is going to be Tabor Klingel-Smith. He heads up our AAG program here at the Athletic Sports Group. And Tabor, tell us a little bit about what AAG is for people out there that don't know what that is.
All-American Games is definitely one of our vacation destinations where we bring some of the best players in from around the country that are hand-selected through video nominations. So, you know, if you head to Reno, you might end up with kids from Texas. You go to Kentucky, you may have some California kids. It's just a really competitive event.
Booted it short. Leadoff man aboard. Here in the home half of the second inning, Colton Kiz going to lead off and reach the base pads.
So you mentioned Reno and Texas there. What's some of the locations you guys go to so the fans know where you guys will be?
Yeah, so starting July 24th all the way through August 14th, we will be in Reno, Kentucky, Myrtle Beach, Texas, Ocean City, as well as, oh gosh, the last one, of course, always fails me. But we do have, Panama City Beach. We have 6 locations across about 4 weeks.
Now, a lot of this stuff is geared throughout the year, and this is not necessarily that you guys are trying to steal other players or anything else. You're trying to offer them an experience for maybe when they're not playing that week or something like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, this is definitely just one of those opportunities for kids to get those reps. And honestly, the best way that I put it is it's more like a college showcase. You're going to show up and meet kids from all over the country, and you got to figure out how to play baseball very early on and figure out how to be good very fast.
Carson Bowen very quickly here. Rick, 2-1 count.
Real quick, Taylor, how do they go about sending you nominations, or where do they need to go to find more information out about the AAG stuff?
So if you head to baseballyouth.com, you can nominate your athlete. Anyone can nominate your athlete there. Or if you just send me a video of your athlete to tabor@athletics.com. So it's TABER@ATHLETX.com. I'd gladly love to take a look at all your all's athletes.
Kiz with the stolen base. He's now down into scoring position. Carson Bowen. Oh, look at that eagle eye.
Yeah, that ball outside, that's great adjustment there for the young man standing at the plate, because that ball was coming right down the middle. He must have saw the spin on it. That's a good take there.
Shot foul.
So, Tabor, being out here all week, seeing all these teams that are out here, you had to get some nominations from these players who were playing in the TBS Nationals.
Oh, absolutely. We've had great conversation, and not only have we gotten the All-American Games kids, we've also found some leaders out there, which is another step from the AAG. So definitely always excited to be at the TBS Nationals to find these AAG and elite kids.
3-2. Popped him up. Big pitch. Called it first and caught. First man gone in the inning.
Well, Tabor, let's put you on the spot here. We're in a 2-0 ball game in the bottom of the second. Got a runner at second base. As a coach, what's going through the mindset here?
Got to look for something on the outer half of the plate. I definitely think you're trying to hit something backside to advance that guy over.
Yeah, we'll see what transpires here. Definitely want to get a second out here before the runner gets over to third.
Alan Eacham watches that one bounce up. And that takes care of that conversation, gentlemen.
There you go.
So now Eacham potentially a fly ball away from cutting the deficit in half. East Cobb still without a hit. Of course, we're only 6 batters into the ball game, now a 7th. Strike.
The mindset changes here, Tabor, don't it now? I mean, you got so many ways you can score from third base. The mindset changes for the Astros. This is a big run. Even though it's a second inning, they got to get on the board.
Absolutely. You got to break the barrier. You got to make this a one-run game, and definitely looking for something to, like I said, still backside or something deep in the air.
Well, Tabor, listen, we appreciate you joining us in here today. Good luck with All-American Games and BY Elite. And again, folks, T. Klingel-Smith at athletics.com, and he'll be more than happy to set you guys up.
That one will kick foul. Eacham, the right fielder. Mendoza kicks and fires. Fouled away. What a good at-bat this is for Eacham. Just battling, going each way, spoiling pitches left and right. It's been a good long at-bat.
Every pitch this young man takes, the advantage goes to him. He gets to see the deliveries.
High chop at third. They'll take the easier of the 2 outs. East Cobb's on the board, 2-1. RBI ground out, Alan Eacham.
In a perfect world, that's a situation where actually both teams are happy. Wildcatters get an out, clear the bases, but the Astros get a run.
Nolan idle now. Right center field. That ball down for a base hit. Good job by the center fielder to come over and cut it off, get the throw back into the infield, and hold idle to a one-out double. That is the first hit of the ball game for East Cobb.
What a great job by Idle. I love how he rounded first base and had every intention of going to second base. He reads the throw coming in, realizes he's not going to make it, retreats back to the bag. Most players just take their single, be happy with it, and walk on. But Idle was putting pressure on him. A bobble, an errant throw, and he's right there.
And we teach our 6-year-olds on my club to take that wide turn. Check the ball, check the ball. Popped up, back our way. Rick going to let that one go.
Yeah, it's great to hear that you're teaching them at that young age because I see so many kids. I saw it this weekend. I saw a lot of kids that could have advanced to second base, but because they didn't run hard out of the box and take a hard turn at first, they'd had no shot at going on.
Yep.
And in these types of events, those are big plays. Little things matter.
Make the defense, make a play. Wait a minute! Oh boy, I must have missed it. Not sure how he was out on that play. We do have a replay of it. He certainly beat the ball back to the bag. Oh, it's got stuck in the dirt.
He got stuck.
Holy smokes. His body was down and in pace to beat the throw back to the bag, but his left arm got caught in the dirt and did not beat the throw before he was tagged. How about that play? But the run does come across for East Cobb. They'll get it on an RBI ground out, cut the lead in half. We're at 2-1 through 2. It's the 2022 11U National Championships. Juan Garza, Jack Waltman, and Agustin Sevilla. Visitors half of the third. Strike. Easton Earl, I-R-L-E, Earl. Doing my Harry Carey impression. And half of our viewers have no idea who I'm talking about.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, well. Just go look up Harry Carey online. There is one video of him on YouTube where it's just him commenting on players' names, where he says a guy's name and then he just proceeds to spell it like I just did, or compare it to other words that are close. Earl coming in, he'll give way to his catcher, and it kicks off his mitt. Boy, you had a feeling that one was going to be serious trouble right from the start. He also trips over the bat here. We'll take another look.
Yeah, this one's high. The wind is strong up there. We've noted about it. The wind's playing with it. So, and just as the ball comes down, he steps on the bat. That's an unfortunate break for the Astros.
And Bowen was trying to approach it properly, just had too many landmines to work around. Swing and a miss. Garza is down on strikes in his first at-bat of the ball game. WILDCATTERS-RUSK batting 12 in this affair. One of the rules that some of you may not be aware of if you're watching travel ball for the first time. Teams can bat 9, like a traditional lineup, 10 with an extra hitter, or their entire lineup, their entire roster, which in this case for WILDCATTERS-RUSK is 12 players. And that's why you see what you do with 12 men in the batting lineup. Waltman, Jack Waltman, he's number 11 in the lineup.
You know, kudos to Coach Russ for batting all 12. You know, the sentiment when you do this type of game, a championship game, especially one that's being broadcast, is I'm going to go with 9 or 10.
My best 9. And
Yep. I've got 2 subs because I have a rule here that if you bat your entire lineup, you run the risk. If someone can't make their plate appearance for any reason, that's an automatic out in the lineup. But Coach Rusk wants all of his boys to get this experience and to be on TV and to watch and to be a part of this game. So kudos to him.
It's great. Left center field. That one down for a base hit. Will it split the defenders? Yes, sir. He gets all the way to the track anyway. He's going to Jack Waltman with a double. That snaps a streak of 6 consecutive retired by Easton Earl. We get to the 12th place man, Augustine Sevilla.
Well, and let's be honest. It's a lot easier for teams of this caliber to bat 12 than your local Parks and Rec Little League team.
Right. Line at third, caught. Good job by Waltman to get back. L5 in your scorecard if you're keeping it, the scoring that is, with us.
Case in point, there's your quote-unquote your number 12 hitter who just hits a line drive to the third baseman.
Also the base pads and the mound, if you're wondering. 50 feet between rubber and plate. 70 feet between the base pads. We do have a run rule, or as some of you may commonly know it as, a mercy rule, although we're kind of floating away from that terminology a little bit. We'll worry about the run rules if we get there. Never like to talk about that until we have to.
Nah, it's one of those things nobody likes to talk about them.
Yeah, even when you have to, you don't want to talk about it.
Even when you have to, you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you're right about that. We're back to the top of the lineup, and Jose Vera. Vera pop up to start the ball game. Speedy, contact-oriented leadoff man. Strike. Scheduled for 6 innings. Earl kicks and fires. Chopper. Now he can show off his speed. Deep short, and they'll never have a shot. Oh, runner came around third, too wide. A dive back to the bag, and he's safe. What a heads-up play by the shortstop there.
The thing that's most impressive about that, Chris, he knew what he was going to do the moment he fielded that ball. He knew he had no shot to go to first base.
Yep.
He knew immediately what he was going to do, and he almost got the runner to bite.
Easton Housewright at shortstop for the Georgia boys. So 2 men on. That one in the dirt. And by the way, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that Jose Vera, not only did he collect the infield hit, but very astutely also heads up play. He was able to make his way all the way down to the second base bag as that play was taking place at third. Here's Jacob Cordova with an opportunity at 2 RBI.
So you can already see early in this ball game that both teams are well coached and teaching their kids to come hard out of the box.
Hey, you know, on that play, Rick, you had 3 really heads-up plays. One, you had Waltman taking the wide turn, the wise wide turn as I like to call it, to survey where the ball is and to give himself an opportunity to score if something happens. Then, of course, as we mentioned, the shortstop making the fine play that he did, Housewright knowing that he had a shot to get in behind the runner. And then, of course, Vera heads up, making his way down to the second base bag. Smart kids.
Yeah, these type of plays just is why I got involved with travel ball at this level and the excitement that it brings. The skill level, the talent level, and the intuitiveness of these players is just amazing.
Ground ball. Up, and they got him. So 2 men do reach, but Cordova is retired on a 4-3 ground out. We're through 2.5 in a 2-1 game. Parker Lively, Andrew Nixon, then back to the top of the order, Ashton Brown. Just last trip to the plate for the Georgia boys. They were able to finally crack the scoreboard and get a run on. East Cobb wins this one. They'll add another national championship to their long and illustrious history. Wildcatters win this one. And they will force a winner-take-all national championship game that will take place, by the way, at 3 p.m. roughly over on Field 6. We should make that time because there shouldn't be any other ball games going on, right, Rick? So that game should be right on time unless this one runs long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the. I'll give you an update on the 12U game. Excuse me. We got the 12U game. This is in the third inning, and that is SBA
at short, maybe third. Cut off. Nice. One hop. Dugout. Yes, sir. Fine defensive plays on each end.
The only shot they have there is that third baseman cuts that ball off and throws it over to first. If that ball waits to get to the shortstop, they have no shot to get the kid.
Yeah, give us an update on that SBA Marucci National Ball game as they're taking on TGD backs in that 12U.
Yeah, we're in the third inning of that game over there, and the score is tied 3-3.
Oh, boy. That just feels like it's destined for a late run to win it. Andrew Nixon now. Nixon, good hitter to have at the bottom of your lineup. Served like another leadoff hitter with contact and speed. On this particular opportunity, he rolls over into a 5-3 ground out. And so Brown to the plate with 2 men out. This high-powered East Cobb offense, well, they got to run on the board, but for the most part, they've been held at bay here by Mendoza.
That's what good pitchers do, effective pitchers. Not necessarily overpowering, but just kids that know how to pitch.
Yep.
You know, I've always told all my kids, you can get anybody on the mound to be a thrower. It's different to be a pitcher.
Brown his first time up, caught looking, down on strikes.
Just missed. That pitch didn't miss by much.
This is the third of our 5 games on Field 5 on this broadcast feed. We'll have the 12U National Championship as well. What's that? What's the added game that we have in here, by the way?
Well,
because we have 5 guaranteed games, isn't that right?
Yes. If we have the excuse me, if we have the if game, that will be right here at 5. But if not, then we have the championship game of our silver bracket that will move over here, and we'll play that on here as well.
That's right. Thank you. Mendoza. Got him. Boy, this has been a pitcher's dream all day out of this umpiring crew. These particular umpires, and if you're an old school fan of the strike zone, you've loved it as well because the blacks, the knees, just below the knees, and the letters have all been in use here today.
And they've all been consistent.
That's exactly right, and that's that's more important than anything else. We're through 3 in a 1-run game. Colton Williams. Top half of the fourth inning. We are halfway through here. We're zooming along. We've had just enough offense, and a good deal of good defense and pitching. High fly, going to hold up in left. Sliding over and making the call and the catch. No problem there for Nolan Idle. Williams retired on an F7. He's down for the first time in the ball game. Had an RBI double and scored a run in the first. And now Carson Key. Carson also delivered a run his first at-bat. Came up with the double in the first to deliver the second run of this ball game. Remind me, how old is this Wildcatters program, Rick? I might be catching you flat-footed. If you don't know,
No.
be honest with us. I can't remember, though, and I should know, but I just figured, oh, shoot, I'll just ask you live on the air.
Well,
Instead of waiting until the break.
Right. Actually, they're a first-year program.
Wildcatters-RUSK is a first year, right?
The whole Wildcatters as a whole is a first year. They have
Down into the gap. One out double.
It's an organization that came on this year. They decided to add some programs.
Right.
This team last year that's here and the team that we watched earlier were members of Dynasty Black.
Dynasty Black, right.
Dynasty
Okay.
Black. And so they came over and formed the Wildcatters. And then we had another team that was here earlier, Burgos, the Wildcatters Burgos in the 12-year-old division.
Right.
He was another team last year as well. So this is really the first year for these guys to be on. Now, they may have done something a second year locally in the Houston area, but on the big national scene, this is their coming out here this year.
Well, when you're pulling from the Lone Star State, it's easy to be a startup program or a second-year program.
Very easy.
And have instant success. Look at who's playing over in the 12U game right now. The TGD backs. That's not exactly an old program. They're having plenty of success this year, of course. 2-1 count. One man gone. We're in the visitors' half of the fourth. Maddox Bryant with an RBI opportunity. Williams started the inning with a flyout. Carson Key doubled. Earl set. From the stretch and deals. Left side and foul. Well, he had good power behind that, you know. He was just a millisecond late.
Just a tad late.
Yeah. I don't know if you could tell on the video feed here, but I'll tell you what, I mean, he was no more than about 25 feet, 20 feet from keeping that one fair, which might have been gone. Might have been a different case if he had kept a little more straight, though, with the way the wind is blowing right now. Left-handed hitter is Bryant, 0 for 1. Grounded out to the first baseman unassisted his first time up. Kid who starts in a more open stance with his right foot flared out. Once he goes into his step towards the plate or towards the ball, that is a step towards the plate. Lined. Back to first. No one home at second for the potential double play.
You know, most coaches will tell you as far as their setup for their stance, most coaches don't really mind how you set up. It's all about getting into that hitting zone. And as long as you're able to get in that hitting zone, most coaches will let you set up however you want. Reminds me of Kevin Euclid
Oh,
with his stance.
you're not kidding.
You know, I don't think anybody in the history of the game has that stance other than him. But all that matters is he gets in that hitting zone.
How about Julio Franco?
Yeah.
Anytime we have a conversation about batting stances,
You got to bring up Julio.
yeah.
I've never seen somebody wrap a bat as much as he did.
Nicholas Mendoza now. Starting hurler for the boys in black and blue. Got a chance to add to his lead. Currently at 2-1. Can he make it 3-1? He'll have to do it with 2 men out. Chopper. All you young viewers out there, go to YouTube right now. Type in Julio Franco. Don't leave our broadcast. Just open a new window. You'll want to stay with us. Type in Julio Franco batting stance, and you'll see something really, really wild. But again, don't go anywhere because we're having ourselves a barn burner of a ball game. 1-run affair in the 4th. Kenan Derry hit by a pitch. How about that start in the bottom half of the 4th inning? The irony of that is...
Was he hit by the pitch last at bat?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He would go on to steal a base, be stranded on the base paths. Here's Henry Bauer. Henry has himself a little power. Again, always something we have to think about at this level. 1-run game, bottom of the 4th. Remember, we're only scheduled for 6. So if you're using the MLB equivalent, this is basically the bottom half of the 7th. Bounces up there. That'll easily allow Derry to make his way down to the second base bag. Tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, the catcher tried to backhand that instead of sliding out, blocking, and keeping in front of him, potentially keeping the runner there, but as soon as he tried to backhand it, the ball kicks away. That's an easy advancement of 70 feet.
Strike. Bauer, a strikeout victim his first time up, swinging. East Cobbin pinstripes. Their burnt orange look. The color the Astros have been wearing on and off for many, many, many years.
Right now the thought process is they have to get that runner to third base by any means necessary.
Bauer bails him out, a fastball that tailed high.
That swing tells me that he was not interested in getting him over to third base. That's a good pitch.
Keen eye.
That's a good pitch. 2-2 there. Great discipline, plate discipline here, but man, good job by both people there, the pitcher and the hitter.
I'm coming back with a high fastball. Popped him up. at shortstop. First out of the inning.
That's the first out, and that's what I was kind of referring to, that the Astros had to get him over at third base with 1 out, as opposed to now we've got 1 out at second base. And what these kids need at this age level, and it's hard to teach them, Chris, is productive at bats. But at this age, even if he grounds out to second base and makes it out, but the runner goes to third, even the batter still doesn't understand the importance of what he just did.
Yep. Easton, house right. They give him the sacrifice of moving the runner along, but
one batter.
However, might be one batter too late.
One batter too late.
That's almost as much a opportunity at an infield single as it is anything else, too.
Yeah, I think the Wildcatters in that position say thank you very much.
Colton Kiz. He got it down. Runner to the plate. Better hurry. Got him. How in the world, first of all, did Colton get his bat up there and get that ball down?
I thought that ball was going to hit him.
We'll stay at 2-1 through 4. Finn Stevens started with a strike. Now you got to make sure that you commend Easton Earl. After giving up 2 runs in the first inning, had an E4 that was committed in that first frame, allowing the opening runner on the base pads. Then he gave up back-to-back doubles. That plated the 2 runs. Great young pitcher. You knew he had the opportunity to settle in. This one down the right field line and hooking foul. But you're also facing a great offense, a battle-tested team, a team that's ready to win a national championship. You did a great job of settling in, and Earl has done just that over the last 3 frames.
And keep in mind, when you talk about settling in here, this is only 6 innings, so you can't take too long to settle in because the game will get away from you very quickly if you do.
He's faced 14 batters, not counting Finn Stevens here, since giving up the second of the 2 doubles. 14 batters. He's given up 3 hits, allowed 3 men to reach of the 14 since that RBI double in the first.
That is the definition of settling in. He's given his team a chance. And at this level, that's all you can ask for.
Base hit. The old broadcaster jinx. I'm sorry, Easton. I do apologize.
That one's definitely on you.
It is. You're right. Well, also, though, let's make sure we give kudos at the same time to Nicholas Mendoza, because Mendoza, in some ways, Rick Goff, has been the star of the ball game in that he's been able to hold down this high-powered East Cobb offense. Here's Vincent Sanchez Bernal. 0 for 1 with a flyout.
Well, one thing we haven't been lacking all day on this field, regardless of the game, has been some good pitching. And I know our last game, the final score was 8-7, but that's not indicative of the type of pitching that we saw in that game.
Mendoza pitching a one-hitter right now, Rick. East Cobb has just one hit. They got a double from Nolan Idle, and by the way, he was picked off the base pads. They got their RBI on a ground out. Mendoza, the moundsman for WILDCATTERS-RUSK, has hit 2 batters. He does not have a walk. He's given up the 1 hit, and he has 3 strikeouts. He's been the star of the ball game so far.
Yeah, that's an impressive stat line.
Earl battling with a man on the base pads. Swing and a miss. Brody Hurd on deck. Barring a double play, Juan Garza is in the hole. Got him! Outside corner.
That corner's been called all day long. I understand that he might not be happy with that, but that was right there, and they've been consistent with that call all day.
No matter the umpire in any of the 2.5 ball games which we have seen. Here is the aforementioned Brody Hurd. 6-3 ground out. His only other plate appearance back in the second.
Speaking of the umpires, the crew we got out there today, we've got Matt Dimer at third base. We got Sidney Hall. I'm sorry, Matt Dimer's behind the plate. Sidney Hall's at third base, and Tim Peterson is making the calls over at first.
Earl set and deals. Outside corner. 1-2 count. East Cobb wins. They'll be the national champions. Swing and a miss. WILDCATTERS-RUSK get a victory, and they'll force a winner-take-all at 3 p.m. for the national crown. Double elimination tournament, you see. Both teams, no one eliminated until they suffer 2 losses. Juan Garza now.
Something you don't see every day, a ball coming from another field.
Yeah. Just part of the youth baseball park life.
It is.
Popped him up. Right side, heads up, everybody.
Well,
Catch by a patron.
They gave us one. We rightfully gave them one back.
Yeah. Runners going. That's a strike. Throw down. A one-hopper. That'll take just enough off of it for Stevens to get into the second base bag.
The double clutch. The double clutch cost him. We've seen that a few times today. Not getting a good grip on the baseball. Not being able to make a strong throw as you would like.
Garza with an RBI opportunity, although he's behind 1-2 now. So he'll have to battle. Strikeout victim, his only other plate appearance. That was as the leadoff man in the third. Oh, got a piece ever so slightly.
Yeah, he made a nice pitch on him there. Fastball looking away on the outside black there. That was going to be a strike.
Earl set. Easton deals. Ground ball, deep short, tough play. One hopper, just in time.
Nice play.
What a play at short by Easton Housewright, but not the first one we've seen out of that young man in this ball game, and that will help keep us in a one-run game. Now through 5 in the 2022 11U National Championships. Carson Bowen to lead things off. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Bowen, Eacham, and Idle. Sounds like a law firm.
It does, don't it?
At second, the retirement. 4-3 on Bowen. He's now 0 for 2. Bowen, Eacham, and Idle. Solving your legal needs since 2022. Alan Eacham. Just a 5-3 ground out his last time up. Of course, I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek. His 5-3 ground out delivered a run. Young man did his job. Back in the 2nd inning. Got their first run on the board without a hit. He'll test the third baseman once more and lose that battle.
Strong arm. Strong arm. Takes his time, gets set. You'll see here the ground ball to third baseman, makes a nice play. Takes his time, gets set, makes a strong throw to first base. I'll tell you what, that throw from third to first is longer than what a lot of people realize.
Especially for this age range, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other big thing.
Yeah.
8 of the last 9 set down by Mendoza. His only blemish, a hit batter since the double he gave up to Nolan Idle. As the final batter of the 2nd inning, or I suppose to be more precise, he was not the final batter of the 2nd inning. He doubled, but he was then picked off moments later. It's a weird early going in this ball game. Again, if have not been with us, East Cobb, Astros orange from the state of Georgia. Just about to say they have only 1 hit in the ball game. Now they have 2, and I've done it again.
You started down that road.
Oh, I'm telling you what. You're predicting the home runs, and I'm breaking up hitless streaks.
The one thing that's a fact, even with that hit, Mendoza has been in complete charge in this game.
Yeah.
Keeping the Astros hitters off balance and not allowing them to hit anything really hard until there.
Deep left, and that one headed all the way to the wall. East Cobb looking for the tying run. Nolan to the plate. Idle, safe. Runner to third. Lead runner, safe. 2-2 in the fifth. Parker Lively, RBI double, takes third on the throw.
Chris, this scenario right here is laying out to what we talked about earlier in the day in one of the contests where a pitcher has dominated the whole way, and now all of a sudden he is one hit away from possibly trailing in this game for the first time.
Strike. Before the last two batters, talking about Nicholas Mendoza, he had given up one hit and hit two batters, no walks, and had 3 strikeouts. Mendoza was pitching a one-hit, one-run ball game.
Well, let's see what Mendoza's made of here.
High fly into center. And that will be the frame. 2-out magic. For the men from the Empire State of the South, the Georgia boys from East Cobb, the Astros Orange. After consecutive groundouts, get a single from Nolan Idle. He scores on the double from Parker Lively, and we're level at 2-2 through 5. Jack Waltman leads things off. Little cue shot. He's quickly behind 0-2. Waltman, 1 for 1. Double back in the third. Good left-handed hitter. A little bit of gap power. Does well contact-wise as well. Oh, one hop. Tough play at short.
Little indecisiveness there. He didn't know whether to come up and attack the ball or stay back and let it get the hop. And if you don't make a decision right away, chances are you're going to make the wrong one.
What do you think?
That's an E.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an E6.
Augustin Sevilla. Young man they call Augie. An L5 his first time up. By the way, new man on the mound for East Cobb Astros Orange. Cannon Derry takes over for Easton Earl. This one in the right. The shade over the call and the catch.
That ball was actually struck pretty well But he gets it up there in that wind. That wind's pretty strong up there above the field, and it killed any chance that ball had of going anywhere.
Only one ball that's been hit well today through nearly 3 games that was able to power its way through the wind in right. And that was a ball that was hit in our last ball game that would have made a 15-year-old proud. Little pop coming in. Got it. Throw to first. Got him. Oh, I'm not sure about that call. It was bang, bang, but the man in blue, or black to be precise, says double play. Jose Vera hits into a line drive. 6-3, the double play. What do you think? Well, it's close. So close.
Yeah, I don't see the first base coach putting up much of an argument. So that's usually a defining factor.
Bottom half of the inning coming up next. So the national crown could be decided here. East Cobb Astros, orange. The highly touted, heralded, and decorated East Cobb program out of Marietta, Georgia, in metro Atlanta, in the great state of Georgia, taking on WILDCATTERS-RUSK, a great young program from the state of Texas. Georgia versus Texas for the national crown. And now as we make our way to the bottom half of the 6th inning, East Cobb, their Astros, can bring home another national title to the state of Georgia. 1 run away from doing just that. Ashton Brown to lead things off. Nicholas Mendoza back out on the mound. And it's ball 1. Home plate umpire tells us it's low and away. If East Cobb scores here, they will be the national titleists. Left center, down for a base hit, splitting the defenders, headed to the gap, headed to the wall, Brown to third, here comes the throw, save! The Astros 70 feet away from a walk-off national crown.
What a way to lead off the 6th inning. With a triple. Now we're going to put some pressure on the coaching staff. I walk the bases loaded here. I'm sorry. This is what I do.
Especially when the 2 and 3 hitters are coming up next. I agree with you.
Got to take your chance. You got to set up a force. At this age, you got to make it easy for the kids.
Infield not in. We are in the 6th, aren't we?
I'm a little confused. Oh, here they come. I was going to say I'm a little confused.
I was as well. Starting to think I had it wrong. I asked
here we go. Here we go. Now they're going to walk them.
So the intentional pass to Cannondary. Don't be surprised if you see the same thing.
I would do it one more time. There it goes.
Yep.
Took him one pitch to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to see if he'd be first pitch swinging, I suppose, get himself in trouble. One way or another, Easton Housewright is the name that could live in East Cobb lore. Infield in.
The second baseman's too deep.
Mendoza didn't snap that one off. You know he's thinking about it.
Now, the drawback to this is you put pressure on your pitcher because he's got to throw strikes now.
Right.
Because a walk-in is the game.
Right. Timeout called. And here comes the meeting of the mound in that very moment.
Well, I tell you what, this young man has nothing to be ashamed of. He pitched a whale of a ball game.
They just wanted to get a fresh arm out there. Mendoza's day will be over.
You know, I've seen some things in this situation, Chris, where they bring one of the outfielders in and have a 5-man infield. If they think they can get the ground ball.
Augustin Sevilla has climbed the hill. He's charged with the task, a hard-throwing right-hander, trying to get his Texas squad out of the jam. 2 runs in the top half of the first for the WILDCATTERS-RUSK in the state of Texas. But their offense, at least for the most part, gone a little cold since then. Now, they did have 2 men aboard in the third, got a double in the fourth, got a man on in the fifth, got a man on in the sixth. But all of those particular men were stranded on the base paths. East Cobb, well, they've been just as cold offensively. In fact, they've been far colder, if that's a proper way to say it, than the Texas squad. But they've gotten a couple of big hits and important contact when they've needed it. They got one on the board in the second, got one on the board last inning, and now they've got a chance to win the national crown with one here in the sixth.
Don't be surprised if Coach White gives this young man one chance to swing away. Look for the suicide squeeze here. This is a great opportunity. If not this hitter, the next hitter. Be on the lookout for that.
Off the corner. 2-0 count. What a great week it's been for both of these teams. Little number. Not in time. East Cobb's Astros Orange have done it again. National titleists in 2022.
What a game. What a game by both those teams. Tremendous 11-year-old game, 3-2. Chris, in 6 innings, and we've played that
Great ball game.
in an hour? We played it in an hour.
Great ball game. A throwback ball game, if you will. Well, with that, we'll bid you adieu quickly as Rick Goff, of course, will have to sign off and go ahead and head down to the field to hand out the wares to the runners-up and the champions. Rick, always my pleasure, my friend.
Chris, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much. And congratulations to the East Cobb Astros, the 11U TBS National Champions.
And we will see you right back here on this Field 5 a little bit later. Make sure you check your score. You'll be able to find it there on the Facebook page. Turning Machine will help you out as well. For Amy Walker, Patrick Glory, Rick Goff, our entire crew here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us. Your 2022 11U Travel Ball Select National Champions, East Cobb's Astros Orange from the great state of Georgia. Good day, everybody.